In the year 2014, a new squad of operatives was chosen by the College of Illusion. These fools promptly went on to frustrate their DM at every opportunity. Today, still working together, because really, who else would work with them? They survive as adventurers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the Second Breakfast Club.
Tony Kinney as Eddie Falzone.
Jess Owen as Adira Glow.
Michael Cole as Uorag.
Jesse Wicks as Bill Quiverlance.
Nico Rodriguez as your DM.
Welcome back to the continuing tales of A Fool's Quest.
Hey everyone, Nico here, and I am back! After taking some time off and being a player in Campaign 1.5, it is nice to be back in the DM seat. So, let me update you on some of the changes that are coming for Campaign 2. If you are a new listener, thank you so much for checking out the show. We appreciate your time, and we know that there's a whole slew of podcasts out there, so thank you so much for checking this one out. Campaign 2.0, this campaign that we're starting right after this episode, is set in the same world as Campaign 1 and Campaign 1.5, but it's not directly related as far as characters or story. In fact, it's a couple thousand years later. So if you're starting here, that's totally fine. You're not missing anything by not having listened to the first two campaigns. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the ride. If you do want to pop back over and look at the other stuff, feel free. That's totally cool too. We're all about it. For our returning listeners, we do have a handful of new things that are coming into play. First, we have bumped up the amount of players from 3 to 4, so there will be 4 players in this. They will all be noted in the next episode, but all of them are returning cast members from previous seasons, so you'll hear familiar voices. Second, we have switched from playing Dungeons & Dragons to a different tabletop game called Dungeon World. I invite you to check out Dungeon World. I will put a link for where to find the content for this. It is a super fun game. We've been playing around with it a little bit. We actually looked at a whole bunch of different TTRPGs to play for Campaign 2 and switch from Dungeons & Dragons, and this one just felt very right. The amount of creativity that you can have when you are doing your attacks and abilities and spells is just the way we like to play. We are hands down rule of cool. So please go check out the Dungeon World module. You can purchase it. They also have free PDFs online from the people who make it. So go to town, check it out. It's fantastic. I highly encourage you to play. Third, A Fool's Quest last year evolved into a company called Creative Typo Entertainment. Again, we're still just a group of indie podcasts doing the thing we love, and we are by no means a big company and making billions of dollars or anything. That would be dope, though, so maybe, one day. But also, it was our chance to kind of make it a little bit more legal and kind of protect ourselves from all the things that were happening out there. So there are a handful of shows. Our hands are in all of them. So if you really enjoy A Fool's Quest, we've got a little bit of each flavor. We've got audio dramas, actual plays that you can check out. We have sci-fi, comedy, horror, suspense, murder mysteries, a little bit of everything. So make sure to check out our website, afoolsquest.com, and you can look at all of the other shows that are on there as well. We do have Ethereal Embrace, which is a spin-off of A Fool's Quest. We also have the ISFET Archives, which is a big passion project of mine, with audio drama, voice acting, and it's a lot of the cast and crew from the other shows that we have, and several other shows. I'm not going to go all over that because I want to keep this short and sweet to get you into the good stuff. But please check out the website, look at our other podcasts, make sure to rate and review this, rate and review those. It goes a long way and still helps to build our brand and get our name out there. Finally, we do have a Patreon. For those of you that like to give back monetarily, We've got a couple options where you can do that. Patreon's the biggest one. It comes with perks depending on what tier you're on. We do binge tier access for different shows. We do ad free, so you'll hear commercials and stuff if you're on the general feed for A Fool's Quest right now. Those are all gone when you do Patreon. The different tiers start from $5 and range all the way up. We do coupons for merch if you're on the merch tier. So yeah, I mean, lots of cool things. We also have special episodes in Patreon where we discuss the episodes of the month, and that segment is called WTF for the Fools, and that's a lot of fun. We just kind of do like interview style and chat about it, and we answer any questions that might come up from our listeners. And then we have another segment called NPC Interludes, where we typically take 3 scenes from 3 different groups of NPCs that show up in the world and give you some background into what they're doing while the fools are doing their own little thing. So it's kind of like a little bonus, hey, here's what's happening in the world that isn't directly happening to the fools yet, but will have impact later. We've got a game we're actually playing right now for Patreon where our patrons actually get to choose the random weird things that happen to the fools as they try to travel in our Miscreants series. So lots of fun stuff to do with our patrons and engage. And then speaking of engagement, we do have a Discord too where we love to get feedback. We love to talk about gaming. We love to talk about podcasting, fiction stories, whatever you want to talk about. Hop in, give us a holler, chat with us. Again, that will be in the show notes for this too. You can just click it and it will take you right to our Discord where you can chat with us. And while we're on the topic of Patreon, I want to give a big shout out to our executive producer, Nick Mead, who is on the executive producer level of Patreon. Thank you so much, Nick. You know how much we love you. We tell you all the time. But we want to make sure that the world knows how much we love you. So, and if you would like our eternal gratitude, much like Nick gets, you too can become a patron at whether it's the executive producer level or anything else. I mean, any little bit helps. So anyway, a few format things coming up, but you'll see those as the show goes. We really appreciate you being here. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen to our show, and we hope you have as much fun listening as we do creating this. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Shamas, who is going to do a little bit of groundwork for lore for the upcoming campaign. Not a whole ton, but a little bit. So check it out, and then we'll see you next Friday to start Campaign 2, The Scholastic Wars.
In the year 2714 of the Age of Academics, the world of Euphrai is divided into 8 nations. At the core of each nation's government lives a powerful magic item, an infinite page of magic. An infinite page of magic is a sheet of indestructible parchment that embodies one of the 8 schools of magic: abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation. Together, these 8 pages make up the original book of magic. But just as the nations are separated, so are the pages. At the end of the Age of Judges, the previous age in which Campaign 1 took place, something broke the way magic worked in Euphrai. Magic users could only tap into one particular school of magic. While they might be able to discern or understand magic from other schools, the magic users were incapable of wielding the power of any other school. The restrictions in magic caused division between users. Magic wielders began to group up and form academies specific to their schools. Governments and wealthy elite backed specific schools, and the schools began to separate until there were clear boundaries between the academies and the nations backing them. The magic school restrictions, later called the circumscription, had one exception: warlocks. Because of the links to patrons that exist outside the realm of Euphrai, warlocks were able to access all schools of magic. However, during the break in the Age of Judges, the walls between universes became reinforced, limiting the ability for patrons to secure pacts with warlocks. Because of this, the number of warlocks in the world of Euphrai is minuscule compared to the other magic users. In the beginning of the Age of Academics, warlocks were determined to be a threat by the 8 academies of magic. It was not long before resentment and fear turned into outright hostility. Thus began the extermination efforts of all warlocks, also known as the Pact Hunt. The surviving warlocks went deep into hiding and had to weigh the risk of being caught in the open versus not fulfilling the mandate from their patron. After the Pact Hunt was satisfied, there were 200 years of peace among Euphrai as the 8 different schools established borders and governments. International rules for school squires were established and the academies began to take form. The peace did not last long, however, and small skirmishes between nations and schools began to take place. Today, in the year 2714 of the Age of Academics, common folk debate whether the world of Euphrai is on the brink of full-blown war, or if the governments and wealthy elite are simply using scare tactics to reinforce their heavy tariffs and burdensome tax laws. Although the primary focus of academies is recruitment and development of new magic users, also known as squires, the academies also hire and train individuals for other roles. In fact, more than 2/3 of the academy residents are non-magic users that fit other necessary roles. Every full magician is expected to have a retinue of anywhere from 3 to 7 trusted companions. These support roles may include soldiers, diplomats, religious proxies, investigators, scholars, and even those with more discreet backgrounds. A squire will train with multiple combinations of support roles to learn the pros and cons of each. Upon reaching completion of middling education, the exact ranking system and titles differ depending on the academy. An undergraduate may apply for an assigned team of support staff to report directly to them. Upon approval by academy professors, the undergraduate has agency to direct their team as they see fit. Different academies and nations have different rules regarding the support staff's duties and how they are to be held accountable. Religion in Euphrai remains primarily in the control of the Church of Greyhawk. The world of Euphrai still recognizes the 12 primary gods, but reveres Greyhawk as the deity of the universe. The second largest religion worships the god Loch. International travel is dangerous due to hostile national borders, roaming bands of monsters, and opportunistic bandits. There are 2 primary careers that are given international traveling privileges. The first is any certified member of the Merchant Guild. With the exception of the Brum Royal faction of the guild, who follow the Moonlit Path, almost all Merchant Guild members subscribe to the god Loch to grace their travels. The second group of travelers are titled Student Ambassadors. They reside in all 8 nations and are neutral parties to the academies. When a potential squire is discovered, a student ambassador is assigned to escort them to the appropriate academy, regardless of distance or season. Student ambassadors are also given authorization in all 8 nations to eliminate any warlocks discovered during travels. The third largest religion is the Moonlit Path. Although it is the third largest religion in size, its subscribers only account for 4% of the total population of Euphrai. The religion was founded in the early days of the Age of Academics and was primarily funded by the Brum Royal House. Because of their vast wealth and reach, the religion was able to spread, though many rejected it as heresy against the true god, Greyhawk. Several cults have also spawned during the Age of Academics. The cult of the First People worship ancient, powerful beings that they believe to still walk the face of Euphrai. The cult of 3 believe that the end times are in the near future and an evil god will be set upon Euphrai. They take their teachings from an ancient book called the Broken Mirror Journal, although there are no copies of this book to be found. The final cult of note are the Duchesne's Brigade Against Guilds, also known as D-Bags. This group follows teachings of a long-dead prophet that believes all guilds are evil and unchecked power should be managed by a higher power. there are still many guilds in the world of Euphrai, most notably the Merchants Guild, the Crafting Guilds, and the Fishing Guilds. Although there are more secret guilds that stick to the shadows, such as the Thieves Guild and the Assassins Guild. Guild visibility and validity differs depending on nation and laws. Our heroes, also known as Fools, begin their journey in the Illusion Nation. They are already an established group within the Illusion Academy, earning their place as one of the top 3 groups in the school, also known as a clique. The party consists of 4 members. Eddie Falzone is the wizard that specializes in illusion magic. Per Academy standards, Eddie is the defined leader of the group and is held responsible for the party's health and actions. The 3 other fools act as support for Eddie, working to keep him safe and healthy. The first of the support is Eddie's dear friend, Bill Quiverlance, the Bard. While Eddie is technically the leader of the party, Bill acts as the frontman for the team. Where Eddie relies on guile and intelligence, Bill uses his charm to navigate social situations that the party may incur. One of Bill's first tasks was to find 2 additional party members that could act as muscle for the party. He did not disappoint. Adira Glow is a fire genasi barbarian with big anger issues and an even bigger axe. Her disposition is as fiery as her weapon once she's raging. And finally, Uorag is a shape-shifting druid well-versed in the nomadic lifestyle of the Illusion Nation. While the party will be starting in the comfort of their home in the Forsaken City, deep within the protections of the Illusion Nation, the world around them continues to grow tense. National disputes, trade tensions, warlock terrorists, roving bands of demons, and wild magic surges all push the world of Euphrai closer and closer to the brink. Welcome to the Scholastic Wars.
This concludes this episode of A Fool's Quest. Join us next time for a more fun and daring adventure. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, review, and comment on your favorite platform to listen to A Fool's Quest.